All right, we're going to talk about flow monitors today. Our chemical pumps all have flow monitors on top of them. The flow monitor is there to give an indication and a verification that we actually have chemical flowing through the pump and to the point of use. A problem's happening with the flow monitors, and what happens is you get a flow alarm. So what I'm going to talk about today is how to troubleshoot the flow monitor, how to clean it, and put it back together and clear your alarm. Okay, so I unplugged the pump. That's the first thing you want to do. Next thing you want to do is make sure you have proper PPE, glasses and gloves. I'm going to close the discharge valves on this system to make sure I don't get any flow back from anything. I am then going to remove the protective cover. I'm going to then open up this valve on the back, and what this does is it relieves the pressure that's on this part of the system, relieving the chemical to go back into the storage tank, okay? I'm then going to unplug the pump, off the pump, the flow monitor, and we're going to disconnect the compression fittings. Be careful because there's a little bit of chemical up in there. All right? And you also want to be careful because there's O-rings, and you don't want O-rings popping off, flying all over the place. So just ensure that your O-rings don't leave and that you don't get chemical everywhere. Okay, so here's our flow monitor. All right, this is very important because this is what tells us that we actually have chemical going to our system. Chemical goes through here. There's a little ball in here. The little ball gets pushed up, completing a circuit on this limit switch, which gives a little green light, which gives us a visual verification that there's actually chemical going through. And then this sends a signal to the pump, telling the pump that there's proper operation as well. What happens is whatever kind of chemical you have, whether it gets crusted up or it can get gummed up, that can get blockage for the little ball that's inside, and it can stop the ball. The ball doesn't go up, doesn't complete the circuit, and that's what gives you a flow alarm on your pump. Now, whether there's a problem with the ball or the pump's not actually pumping, when you get a flow alarm, it's important to investigate to figure out why you don't have chemical going to your system. Now, what you want to do is take this off, take a look at it. You want to take this to a clean water source, put water on both ends, give it a good shake, get the water through there, make sure it's clean, and that you don't have anything blocking the little ball that's inside the little ball that's inside of there, okay? When it's clean, we bring it back and we're going to reinstall it, okay? I usually like to situate them so I can see the little green light on the side where the limit switch is, okay? And we're just going to put all this back together. And we make sure we plug it back in here. All right, we're almost ready to go, and we're gonna prime this, okay? All right, so I plugged the system back in, I opened up the discharge valves, and I'm ready to prime this pump. We're gonna put the protective cover back on. So what I wanna do is, we already know that the little valve on the back is open, right? This valve here. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push the P, which clears the flow alarm, and I'm going to push the up and down arrows together, which is how we prime the pump. Okay? Now what you're going to see is, you're going to see in the tubing below, you're going to start to see chemical move. And that's an indication that our pump is primed and ready to go. So what I'm going to do from here is, I'm going to go around the front, and I'm going to close this valve, which will redirect the chemical up through the flow monitor instead of going to the tank. Now our chemical is going through the flow monitor, and you can see every time the pump pumps, you can see a little green flash. Here we go. You can see a little green flash when the pump pumps. And that's an indication that our pump is actually pumping and we're getting good flow through the system. Okay? And so as you can see here, the green light is flashing every time the pump's pumping. And that's just a good visual as you're walking by to ensure that to know the pump is actually pumping and chemicals getting to where it needs to go. Okay, so that was flow monitors, troubleshooting, taking it apart, cleaning, and putting it back together, and priming your pump. And hope this helped, and good luck.